Hey guys, I'm back again. So here's our hay squeeze project. I'm trying to do that for today. A little background on some things that have been going on. That 587 Peterbilt. So the module did take care of the problem, and I'll tell you what happened on that. I actually started videoing a little bit about that, and anyways, the guy kind of pissed me off. We'll elaborate more on that right now. So anyway, the module took care of the issue with the modulator valve. Those things have a modulator valve on one on each corner. So if you got two axles back there, two drive axles, Peterbilt calls the front, or Bendix or whoever calls the front drive axle, one with the interaxle differential lock, they call that the additional axle, and then the drive axle is the back one. And of course your steer axle. And that truck has modulator valves because it has ABS on all 6 corners. I guess you could say 6 corners. So the code was originally the left front, what'd it say? No. Modulator open circuit drive axle 2 is what it said. So that would have been the left rear one. So I put it in there, and that code, the new module, and the code was not active at all. And I cycled it with my laptop, because you can activate it with your laptop, and it clicked, and that was fine, but it was throwing a pressure sensor not calibrated code. And I looked that up on Bendix's little brochure, or little service manual I downloaded off the internet, and troubleshooted or I looked up the actual procedure for calibrating that pressure sensor. And you're supposed to start the truck, build it up to maximum air pressure till the governor kicks out, shut the engine off, turn the key on, then you hold the brake pedal down for 5 to 10 seconds at full application pressure with the brakes released, and then that calibrates that pressure sensor, and then bang, the light went off. So I did a couple of other things that he wanted to the truck, and well, that was Friday afternoon when I put the module in. The module didn't show up. My wife didn't get it down to me till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I worked on it till about 6 that evening, and to be honest with you, I wasn't even gonna work at all during the weekend. But this guy, this guy's really pushy. He's really pushy. He's the one that pulled his fuse out of his ABS controller, I don't know how many years ago, and has been driving around like that. And all of a sudden, now it's my emergency because he has to have it fixed so he can run. So anyway, Saturday comes along. My daughter is home from college, and I haven't seen her in a good month or so, maybe 2 months. And I wanted to see my daughter. And, so I thought, piss on it. I've been working 6-7 days a week for the last few months anyway. I'm going to stay home and visit with my daughter and my wife, And he sends me these text messages. I need to get back to work. I need my truck back. So I got up Saturday morning, and I went down here, and I finished up some exhaust work on the truck. And what else? He had an application airline on the right front brake chamber that had failed the inspection too. So I fixed that and put some new quick connect fittings, and I backed it out the door. And there were no codes in it, but I did not drive it. So I go back home. I worked about 3 hours Saturday morning. I got back home early so I could spend time with my family. And so he sends me about 400 text messages and tries calling me 20 times, and I didn't answer him. I told you, dude, I'm going home to spend time with my daughter. Now fuck off. That's my whole deal. So anyway, that night I looked at the text messages. One of them was he's showing me the picture on the dash. Well, obviously, I should have drove it, I guess, but to be honest with you, I didn't really want to be there. So it's throwing a wheel speed sensor code now. So what happened is there's no codes because the truck was setting stationary, but as soon as he started driving it, and the ABS controller didn't pick up a wheel speed sensor signal off the right front drive axle wheel speed sensor, it's throwing a code because it says AA wheel speed sensor fault on his dash. Well, I talked to him today and I said, that's additional axle. That's the right front wheel on the right side drive axle on your front axle. AA's additional axle. And he goes, well, what is it? I said, I don't know. I said, look up the code. Go into the on the diagnostics on the dash, all it does is give you the SPN number. It doesn't give you the FMI number. The FMI is a failure mode indicator. So if you have this code, actually is a 794, and all that's telling you is there's some kind of problem with the wheel speed sensor on the additional axle on the right side. That's all it's telling you. You have to get a laptop plugged into it, and you have to get an FMI number, or you have to get the blink codes out of it. So anyway, I got him calmed down today and told him, I said, listen, I'll be there Tuesday morning, first thing, we'll plug the laptop into it. And I kind of just got on him a little bit, and I said, listen, dude, you know, you can't just be pulling your fuses out of shit when you have a problem, and then all of a sudden, you know, you go to a one-man show that's got how much shit torn apart here right now, and expect him to drop everything that he's doing and take care of you because you decided to pull your fuse out of your ABS controller when you knew you had something wrong with it. And then all of a sudden, when they failed you on the inspection, now it's my problem. Anyways, I'm sorry for ranting, but I get sick of people's shit, man. I really do. I really get sick of people's shit. You know, sometimes I really think about just going down to Pape, Kenworth, or Pape Machinery, or some place like that, and working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and when I clock out for the end of the day, you know what? I don't have any problems. I'm going home. You know? And sometimes I really feel like doing that because I get so sick of these guys and their shit. I really do. You know? These guys that break down and they think the world revolves around them and whatever they've got going because they are so important. Okay, so I'll quit ranting about that. You know, oh, one more thing. Hey, you know, if you're not happy that I can't do it fast enough for you, you know what? I can't possibly be the only son of a bitch on the planet that can do the job. Maybe you should call somebody else. All right, so anyway, back to this project. So here's the deal. I made this plate, but we're going to actually cut this loose. I'll elaborate a little more on that. Okay, this whole setup with the Allison transmission, the M11 versus the 290 with the 13 speed in it. This whole setup is right at 5, I measured it 20 times. It's right at 5 inches shorter than that setup, the old setup. So, that being said, I want to make as much room as I possibly can on the front here because I think my fan hub is just a touch longer for one reason. And then I want to make more room for my charge air cooler setup, okay, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to come all the way back to the edge, damn near, so right at 2 inches. I'm going to go back as far as I can. And then also, you'll notice this big notch I cut out of the main frame. And I know I'll hear about, oh man, I'm cutting a frame. This is not a frame flange that's heat treated like a Peterbilt or a truck. This is just a piece of mild steel. Okay, so that being said, I was working on one of my other customers' hay squeeze the other day, and it was the same style. This is a Manteca hay hog. This is not a Sunny D Roadrunner made in Klamath. These were made in Manteca, California. Okay, so they're totally kind of a different setup, really. So, anyways, I was working on their hay squeeze, and theirs had an 8.3 C-Series Cummins, and the turbo is mounted with that down angle just like this one. And you know what? It had a big notch coming out of the frame, and they had a piece of iron angled in just like that. They gave themselves clearance to get the thing out of there or to install the engine. I haven't decided yet whether I just want to box it. I was thinking about just coming up and just making like a box, you know, or do I want to angle it the way I would rather make a box, to be honest with you. I'd rather come out like this and come straight back and come up. I would like to try to make it just as much room, because there's nothing here that it's going to interfere with, so it doesn't really matter. I think that's my plan, is see the air tank mounted back here. I took it off. That's why that wheel's off. I took it off, and then the air tank threaded holes are right here. I couldn't go too much further down, and I've already installed the engine just to kind of mock it up and see where it was going to set at, and it looks pretty damn good. So we're going to move this back as far as we can go, and I cut this long enough to where I've got like this much room down here on the end. I should be fine. So let's see here. What is my next step? I guess I need to figure out what I'm going to do here as far as a piece of plate goes to weld in here. I need to clean this up. The other thing I might have to do is that the other Roadrunner, what they did, because that was not the original engine in that hay squeeze either. Somebody had done that just like I'm doing right now to this one, because it was an old one too, that somebody put that 8.3 C series in the Allison, because it didn't have an Allison originally in it either. Somebody did exactly the same thing that we're doing to this one, and that's what they did, and they've run that thing for years like that, and they said, yeah, it's fine. So anyway, that's why I decided to go this route. I mean, I contemplated numerous things, you know, should I raise this up and make my angle more? But they had their angle kind of with the way it's set up now pretty much perfect. So I decided to go this way. But on theirs, they had where the air cleaner, where the air intake hose hooked on out here on the inlet impeller side of the turbo, it came around and came through here. I don't know if this is going to interfere with that or not. So I guess for now, I left this on here is what I did. Of course, it burnt the paint off when I was cutting, but he knew that was going to happen when I was talking to him about it. I think what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to get this boxed in. We're going to make a plate that comes out to about maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, so we can get a good weld on it out here. We'll come up, and you know, that plate will come out here however long, and then we'll make it almost like a piece of angle iron, you know, and then come up here, and we'll have to cut some small corners and corner it out here. The other one over there, theirs was angled like this, but I'm just scared to death that I know that I'm going to be the one working on this hay squeeze. When the turbo does go out, if it goes out, I'm going to be the one pulling it off. Alright, so got the isolator mounts out of it, because obviously I don't want to melt them. So got it cut, got it cleaned up, got this piece cleaned up. I got this piece just tacked in here. Gonna see, you know, I was gonna see if the angle part would work. I'm gonna have to raise it up, set it down in here, see what kind of clearance I got. If I don't like it and I'm not happy with it, I know it'll look better like this. I mean, I'm gonna have to cut some pieces here in the corner to fill this in, which is no big deal. We'll make it look nice, but weld this. I know this is where it needs to be. Tack it on each side. I like that very much. Anyways, I'm gonna try to get as far along the inside here as I can and try to put the motor in it again. Alright, let's do it again. Bolts that I can kind of stick in there to line that up. I'm gonna find them now. I guess those will suffice for now. Well, no. Before I know I had. What the hell did my bolts go? I'm losing my mind here. As far as the back end of the engine is setting, not really certain on that without climbing up inside this thing, see where we're at, if we need to go down more. I kind of figured out where I wanted it. It's pretty much going to be the back mounts are gonna kind of lined up pretty close to where it originally was. You can kind of see where it's gonna be. Okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this without going to the hospital here, so. Alright. I gotta go down more, I think, a little bit more. Yeah. I'm pretty close. There's where the old ones were, was right there. Right where the grind mark is. I would say probably about right in there. That's where a guy wants to be. Let's climb back out of here to see where we're at. Oh, that's what's screwing me up. I should have just pulled this clear off of here, you know what? Damn, it's kinking it. I'll just have to do away with that. Put a regular line on it. It's screwed up now. I didn't see that. Damn it. Yeah, that's what's hanging up on me. There's that. I'm gonna go down just a touch more, but where am I at over here? Oh man, that's gonna work out just fine. That's gonna work out. I can turn this. I'm not worried about the impeller housing at all. I can loosen the clamp and spin it and get it up here, and then run my hose right on this side of the, you know, the hood. So I ain't worried about that. And I think I got plenty of room there, plenty of room to get that turbo off. I just need to get that down just a touch further and look at it again. So hang on, let me figure out how I'm gonna do this line that's hanging me up. All right, let me drag the stool out of here and I'll show you. I got that line out of the way. I just took the Sawzall, cut it off. I'll just get one of them braided lines and put on there when I go to finish it. No, that's gonna work out. That's gonna work out great right there. So yeah, and I know for a fact that I could get that turbo off of there the way it's sitting just right there. So anyway, I mean, it ain't gonna be, I don't give a shit which one of these Roadrunner hay squeezes you work on. They're always a pain in the work on, the way they're shoved down in the, you know, a truck. All this on a truck is sitting way up here. I mean, but any one of these you work on, they're like this. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So, and I've got it sitting down exactly where I want it back there with my angle. So I'm gonna pull it back out and we're gonna weld all this back up. I probably should have brought some more rod. Oh, there it is. I got some more right there anyway. Tack it in a couple more places here. Anyway, my stinger got a quick connect fixing in on my stinger and it came off. First time that's happened. All right. Okay, let's start burning some rod, huh? Guess that's where I can see it, huh? You. Well, not too bad, I guess, but I gotta cut some corners here tomorrow, or man, it probably won't be tomorrow. All the parts for the pack. I mean, it never fails. I could tear these engines apart weeks apart, and then wait for all the parts and order them weeks apart, and then everything shows up on the same. Everything showed up today. Everything for the John Deere showed up today, and everything for the PACCAR showed up today. So it's like, you got to be kidding me. Well, anyway, whatever. So I've got plenty to do. In the morning, I don't know. Got so much shit going on, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. But anyway, eventually, the next day or two, I'm gonna cut some corner pieces here, weld those in, make it look nice. This will be all nice and flush once I get done. And then, yeah, then we can work on getting the rear mounts fabricated, and which I think, you know, I pulled these mounts off. I need to grind on these. Let's just do a little grind test right now to see if this is cast steel or cast iron. It's kind of looking like it's... See, those are yellow. I'm trying to remember now. I'm having a brain fart. So what, yellow sparks? Trying to remember the let's just look it up real quick, because I can't remember. If I'm remembering, spark testing is a method to determine the general classification of ferrous metals. If normally it entails blah 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 blah. Yeah. What the hell is that? I'm trying to remember, guys. Cast iron versus cast steel spark test. That's what I'm looking for. An expert can tell if material is cast iron or steel by grinding the specimen with an abrasive wheel, observing the spark pattern and color. Steel usually produces bright yellow sparks, but iron has more red or orange sparks. How to tell the difference between cast iron and cast steel? So, it's kind of orange, you know, but it sure grinds the way it's grinding. It sure acts like it's cast. So you grind on a piece of metal here. I don't know, man. Those sparks look about the same to me. You look at the sparks coming off of this. Now you look at the sparks coming off of this. I think that's cast steel. I'm pretty damn certain that that is cast steel. So I don't think there's a reason why. I mean, the other mounts were welded into there, so why can't we weld these in? we're, you know, back in here somewhere. Once we get our engine back in there, get it figured out where we want to go, yeah, why can't we do that and just weld them in? Like I'm saying, the other ones were welded in. So anyways, my wife, she wants me home. It's about 7 p.m. right now, so I'm gonna get out of here. All right, guys, so we're making progress. Not like it now. I mean, I gotta get this John Deere done and get that done, and then I can get back on this, hopefully. And I want to keep going on this. Now that I've got this figured out, I mean, I know I can remove the turbo. I've got clearance there. I want to get this sucker going, man.